And so the view from up here is quite spectacular.
Yeah, the story goes that the original developers who thought they were going to get really rich here in Vermont developing all these cabins actually cut these roads so that each cabin would have a spectacular view of the lake. So we have our wedding ceremonies from up here, and it's just spectacular, the different times of day and what the sky and the water does.
I bet the wedding pictures look stellar.
Yeah. Well, in June, this is an entire lupin field of
is it
purple
really?
and pink flowers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
And lovely. I love lupins.
It's beautiful. And the down here we have the previous owner, Wilhelmina Smith, has her prize blueberry bushes.
Blueberry bushes?
Yes. The previous owner put them in, and they bloom every early August or so. So now there's still should be some really nice ones here.
Oh yeah. Here's a beauty. Here's a pretty one.
Yeah, so it's sort of a sign of the end of the summer when we get to collect all the blueberries. We've made it.
And so you are open all year round?
Yes. We are open year round because we have world-class Nordic ski trails. It's hard to imagine this time of year that when we're covered in white, it's just a fantastic place to be. I joke that summer, there's a lot of places that are fun to be in the summer, but this is one of the best places to be in 3 feet of snow.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, and because of the trails?
Because of the ski trails, snowshoeing, ice fishing. Everyone is so excited when it snows here. And and then fall foliage, of course, is amazing. And all the biking we do in the spring and fishing in the lupin fields. It's gorgeous here year round. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Well said. And then there's some up there I don't think I can read.
Oh gosh, yes. Sometimes it takes 2 to tango up here.
I mean, what's the lifespan of a blueberry bush? Do you know? Is it endless or forever, or have you planted new ones?
No, we haven't planted new ones. So they've been here for quite some time. Yeah. But they do well, and then you can see they're starting to turn
the colors. I bet they're gorgeous in the fall.
Yeah, they turn red in the fall, so it's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's fun. All the different colors are really great. So we'll go up here to the porch.
A well-used, very old porch.
Yes,
right?
This is part of our 1860s farmhouse that makes up the lodge here. It's called the lodge, but it's really just a farmhouse that's had rooms added and things tinkered with over the years, but we love it, and it's been here for a long time. So, and now we have our mint and we have some tomatoes to snack on, and blueberries. Whoops! And run away! We gotta run away. And our blueberries, and this is our blueberry mint cocktail that you can try.
Thank you very much.
And we make it with our local award-winning Bar Hill gin from Caledonia Spirits, which is right down here in Hardwick, because they named the spirits after Bar Hill, which is the hill that we're on.
Oh, really?
And they've won awards all over the place, and they make it with they infuse it with honey, so it's really sweet.
Well, thank you for that.
So, skål.
Thank you. Skål. That's refreshing. Very nice. And the mint and the blueberries, very nice. And so, when did you buy the?
Well, we bought the lodge from the Smith family, who had it for about 60 years, and we bought it about a year and a half ago, and it has been amazing how welcoming the community has been, and a lot of our families that had been coming here for 20, 25, 30 years, a lot of them have come back and
just said welcome. New owners, we're loyal to the history of the place and the community.
They're just so excited that there's some fresh energy here. And I mean, the Smiths, bless their sweethearts, they earned their retirement. They were in their 70s, and they'd had it for 60 years. So 3 generations. So it was a great celebration for them to be able to travel and enjoy life even more. And so and I've been so excited to be in a place where I can welcome so many interesting people, and my background is in the performing arts, so now I actually have land where I can host other performing arts companies, and we have
great.
live music every week, and
that's great.
Ballet Vermont is going to perform this fall on our volleyball courts here, and so people will sit on the hillside and watch them overlooking the lake.
So that's your personal touch on this that I'm sure each innkeeper and owner has had.
Yeah, well, to me it should be it's whether it's about food or architecture or gardens, it's about culture. And once a place loses that feeling of lively culture, then it doesn't feel like a home anymore. It feels like a corporation, or it feels like a hotel or something like that. And so that's one of the reasons why we call ourselves a bed and breakfast, even though in the summer and fall we're quite large for a bed and breakfast. We sleep up to 85 people, but the feeling of it is that it's a home, and the patina on the walls of the generations of kids that have grown up here, and the generations of adults that have grown up here is pretty remarkable. So
talk a little bit about that history, about how they thought that this was going to be a detriment to the community and things like that, and
there's
the other parts of the history.
Right, exactly. And there's a long history of writers in Vermont, and so we actually named most of our cabins after writers.
I was wondering. I saw Edna.
Right. Edna is actually Annie Prue. Her first name is actually Edna. She doesn't like that name, so she probably hates it that I named a cabin after that. But so Annie Prue and David Mamet and Tasha Tudor and Wallace Stegner lived here in Greensboro and wrote extensively about this area. And in his award-winning book Crossing to Safety, he talks about these gold-digging developers who are going to come and put in a dance hall, and the dance hall lodge is basically what he's talking about is Highland Lodge. And he says, and there's a family sitting at dinner one night and says, "Can you imagine it? There's going to be loud music and beer bottles, and that it's just going to destroy the pristine beauty of Greensboro." And that's part of the culture to a certain extent with Greensboro, is that everyone loves it the way they remember it 20 years ago, and so no one ever wants it to change. And so there's a little bit of that, but the fact is there's always new things happening here, and new generations coming, and sometimes the change is good.
Yeah. And so where were you from originally?
I grew up outside of Chicago, actually. And then my best friend from elementary school came and founded Nutty Steph's Vermont Granola here. And I came up and visited her when I lived in New York, working in the performing arts, directing operas and singing, and living in my tiny apartment. And I came up here to just sort of get out of the city. I called it the antidote. Vermont is the antidote to New York City.
It was just a visit at first?
Yeah, it was a longer visit. I came up here for a couple weeks to just take a break from the city in the dead of winter, and she introduced me to a friend of hers, and he fell madly in love with me, and then I just couldn't leave. I mean, it really is, for me, it was a fairy tale in that I had been looking for a place where I could run a business and have a cultural hub and own my own land. And I found some families that loved the lodge and wanted to save it. And so we put all our pennies together and made this happen. Perfect. And it had been for sale for a couple years because, of course, the Smiths wanted to find the right owner.
Very important.
So it's
to keep the legacy. I mean, very important for that.
Exactly. But the thing is, if you had all the money in the world, you couldn't build a place like this nowadays. You couldn't get the land. You wouldn't be able to develop it this way.
Yeah. How many acres did you say it was?
Around 130.
Okay, 130.
And then we have the longest private beach on Lake Caspian. We have this amazing view that is really part of the natural topography that you just can't get a lot of other places.
Yeah, talk about that beach.
Oh, well, it's the road going down to the beach is called Bathtub Rock Road because there's rocks in the lake just off of our beach that water settles in and it makes these little bathtubs. And there was one of the funny stories about Greensboro. We have a room called Garbo Room, named after Greta Garbo, because the story goes that she would visit Greensboro in the 50s and stay with the Gunther family on that side of the lake, and she would go out on the rocks and sunbathe topless. And, and even though she was only here for probably 3 or 4 weeks over the course of a couple years, everyone who was anyone swore that they saw her.
Right.
You know,
the sundry story that you keep passing on.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, the beach is just fantastic. It is a lot larger than a lot of people think, and but there's not a ton of boat activity on it, and there's an amazing loon population. So a lot of guests will go down to the beach even before breakfast to hear the loons and the mist rising on the lake, and grab a kayak. Or a
we did that. Wendy and I did the kayaks in the morning, and
great.
it was so beautiful, and it was flat glass calm and just gorgeous. Yeah, it was really nice.
Right.
I mean, she recommended you. Said
wow,
that you were a
that's
wonderful
so
place
sweet
to
of her.
stay, and so are
sweet.
there lots of places to stay in this area, or are you like the only game in town, or one of the biggest games?
We're one of the only ones that I think a lot of bed and breakfasts had issues after the .com bubble and sort of the age of the internet, just sort of adjusting to the new culture, the Airbnb culture. And so we're one of the only professional bed and breakfasts in quite a large radius.
Really?
So I think that's part of what makes it just special, that we're open year round, that we serve dinner year round in the house bar and kitchen on Friday and Saturday nights.
Was that a learning curve for you too? I mean, if you were performing arts, you're used to like people and you're not shy, but in terms of having a restaurant, having a bar, and running a bed and breakfast, was that all a learning curve, or was your Prince Charming in that? Was he in the industry?
Well, no, he wasn't in the industry, and he does his own thing. So no, it was a huge learning curve. I mean, on one hand, yes, there were a lot of skills that I'd gathered over the years that can't come together in this industry of hospitality, but absolutely running a kitchen and a bar, and really the biggest challenge is the seasonality that we have, because it's not like we have people say, "Are you busy in the summer?" It's not that we're busy in the summer; it's that the population of the town quadruples in size, and then all of a sudden, late August, all the kids go back to school, and it can completely change, even though the weather is still fantastic.
Right.
So I like to say it's a different business every 3 weeks. So it's constantly adjusting to the new weather and whatever the weather does, and then new things happening. So I mean, we do have a little bit of a break in November and April or so, basically, when the snow falls and when the leaves fall. Let me try that again. When the snow melts and when the leaves fall, then there's a little bit of a break, but that's just for a couple weeks, and then, we start up again. So
when we first arrived, there was a couple having a very nice time right on the porch, and helped us to find the front desk where we could get the key and get our crew all set.
Right. That will often happen, where guests will sort of be the hosts that, if I'm out in the garden or something, because people have a pride, have a pride and a sense of ownership even of this place, because some of them have been here, longer than I've been alive.
But it's one of those places where they didn't say, "Oh, well, we've been here for so long that here you are, newcomer," because a lot of places are like that. It's like you know, you can live there 80 years, but if you weren't born there, so if you're only here a year and a half, or how many years have you been here total?
It's been about a year and a half. Yeah.
That's nice that they're so welcoming. Yeah, the people here seem really, really super, really so friendly and so nice, and the lake is so quiet, and I don't know, it just seems...
I think it's so interesting that we have award-winning cheese with Jasper Hill. We have award-winning beer.
Too. Yes,
in the cellars. It's amazing, the caves. And we have award-winning cheese, award-winning beer, award-winning spirits. But the funny thing, and what I would like to say is a very respected institution here.
Oh, and I saw some of your awards, some of the historical
some
comments.
community awards and things. But that all of the people who run those organizations or founded those organizations aren't just great artisans who happened to be here. They were here. They wanted to have a business here. And then they figured out something to make. Do you know what I mean? It's it's a coincidence because they wanted to live here and they wanted to create a business that would help this community. So it's not just that they wandered in already having won a bunch of awards somewhere else. They won the awards when they started making something here because they believed in this area. And I think
how many rooms do you have total?
We have 10 rooms in the lodge and 10 cabins. And the longest private beach on Lake Caspian and award-winning ski trails in the winter and gorgeous fall foliage. You just can't beat it.
Sounds like you made a good choice. A really good choice.
Well,
and so did we in staying here. How about that?
Yes, and have a great time at Wendy's.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on your next trip up to the kingdom.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and toast on that.
Yes.